right. Pre-flight checkoff. Recording.
Flaps. Right. Good.
Hello, YouTube.
Aileron.
Yeah.
Landing gear. Let's go. Well, this thing kind of does start with airplane things, doesn't it?
Yeah, they're in there.
Hey, we were doing the checklist and you totally botched it. Let me start over. Title.
Yeah, hello.
Technorama episode 408 for June 25th. Magnetic pancakes. Yummy.
They stick to your ribs.
Good morning, folks. This is your captain speaking.
Technorama.
Only if you're Iron Man.
When? Technorama. On this day in tech history. Check. And now, the news. Check.
What the chuck?
Technorama. Welcome to Blockhead Video.
Yes, do you have any unobtainium? I can't seem to get my hands on any.
Over there, in the media corner.
Outstanding.
Technorama.
Hold my beer and watch this.
Unfasten your seatbelts and disregard all safety rules. Here are your flight crew, Chuck and Craig.
Even with a pre-flight checklist, we still screw it up.
Par for the course, man.
Welcome to Technorama. That's all I can say. June 25th, 2014. This show takes a lighthearted look at tech, science, sci-fi, and all things geek. If this is your first time to Technorama, get used to it. This is what you're in for. Just strap in. We got a long way to go. You might as well have brought your road bingo game or something. If you hear us say the word June, everybody scream! Ah!
Word of the day.
If you're a returning listener, welcome back. We appreciate you giving us your time. Technorama has added the app Draw. Don't draw on our faces. Put that away. Craig is playing with the Hangout. You saw the little pencil with the mustache. Yes, you can turn it off.
Here we go. There we go.
I am Chuck Tomasi, and the man with the pencil mustache thing is Craig Stepp. How are you, Craig?
I wish I had a pencil-thin mustache. Never mind. I'm doing good. Actually, my legs are sore. Right, when we're recording this, my legs are a little sore because I went running Saturday morning, and then I went on to walk the rest of the afternoon around Heroes Con all day. So I got my exercise in.
Did you record on Runkeeper? You're walking around Heroes Con?
I should have, shouldn't I? I thought about that afterwards.
But that's an excuse to get credit for anything. I'm going to the grocery store.
Yeah. No, but I went to Heroes Con, took my son and his friend, and we had a good time. So yes, we got plenty of exercise walking around Charlotte downtown.
So are you going to talk about Heroes Con later?
Yeah, I can a little bit, but I just wanted to say, by the way, at the top of the show, be expecting another episode. I've got just a couple of interviews. I didn't talk to any artists like I have in the past, but I talked to a couple of interviews, one from a guy from the 501st in the Carolinas and one guy from the Ghostbusters in the Carolinas. So they talk about what they do and a little bit of, what they do. So,
did the guy from the 501st talk like this?
I've been in the force for 10 years.
No. Hey, by the way, did you ever see that picture I had last year of the zombie trooper?
No, I did not see. That sounds familiar. Did I see that?
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, I found out the guy I was talking to is the one that was in that costume. And he actually got it as an official costume that's sanctioned by the 501st.
Ah.
So
wow.
That's kind of cool. Yeah. So a lot of good information, and but I'll have that out probably between this episode and the next. So be looking for that.
Bonus material. We haven't had any for a while.
So I'll talk about Heroes Con a little bit though.
We haven't had any shows for a while either. So let's get on with this one. We've got work to do.
Yeah.
Coming up in this episode, we have judging internet people. Interesting. Don't be judgmental. We have coffee and space. Did you send an email to Mike Tech Show? Did we send an email to Mike Tech Show? Did he have an anniversary?
No, I don't know.
Oh, he's asking Mad Marv. Tim Elliott is asking Mad Marv. People are having a conversation in the chat room without us.
Oh, of course.
Apparently we don't matter.
And why not?
We just don't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Why are you not in the chat room?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Actually, hold on a second. I'll jump in there.
You too much work knowledge shoved in your head. You forgot how to do the basic things.
No, as soon as I've got so many things I have to do before I get on the show. I keep forgetting to sign in. So my fault. My bad.
You have to start earlier. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
We're lucky this gets started at all. What's the 1138 for?
Lucas.
It assigned you a nick. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I put in there as the base nick. Yeah, I don't know.
We don't have any feedback, so we might as well jump right into On This Day.
Okay.
Correctamundo.
Sounds good to me.
Pan to the... Which way do I pan? I pan that way. Okay. Felt right. Didn't look right. Make sure the H2 is still running. H2 is still running. Back to work. Coffee break's over.
All right.
On this day in history for June 25th, 2014. This is the 176th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar. There are 189 days remaining in 2014. It was on this date in 1900 that the Taoist monk Wang Yanlu discovers the Dunhuang manuscripts, a cache of ancient texts that are of great historical and religious significance in the Magao caves in Dunhuang, China.
Yeah. And that same date in 1910, the United States Congress passes the Mann Act, which prohibits interstate transport of females for immoral purposes. The ambiguous language would be used to selectively prosecute people for years to come. Of course. Yes.
I myself have not been convicted of this more than 12 times.
More than 12 times, right. I was acquitted every time.
Captain Lowell H. Smith and Lieutenant John P. Richter performed the first ever aerial refueling in a DH-4B biplane on this date in 1923. Here's your can of gas.
Yeah. Oh, they lost 3 before they got it right. And on June 25th, 1944, the final page of the comic Crazy Cat was published exactly 2 months after its author, George Harriman, died.
Talk about commitment to your work.
I know, he was still doing it after he
Finish
died.
the last page. I'm dead already.
He's good.
A Diary of a Young Girl, better known as The Diary of Anne Frank, is published today in 1947.
And 65 years ago, today, because we're talking about this day in history, the long-haired hare starring Bugs Bunny is released in theaters.
2 cryptographers working for the United States NSA left for vacation to Mexico. That's outstanding. No, the better part is, from there they defected to the Soviet Union. That was today in 1960.
Wow. And Our World becomes the first live global satellite television program. It was broadcast today in 1967.
On this date in 1981, Microsoft is restructured to become an incorporated business in its home state of Washington.
And brought on several versions of operating systems we celebrate today. And 17 years ago, an unmanned Progress spacecraft collides with a Russian space station Mir.
Boom! Happy birthday goes out on this day to Arthur George Orwell, born on this date in 1903, not 1984.
And little Timmy's mom on Lassie and Maureen Robinson on Lost in Space, actress Jean Lockhart, turns 89.
Singer-songwriter, actress, and author Carly Simon is 69 today.
And finally, Jimmy Dynamite Walker is 67.
And that's the way it was on this day in history for June 25th, 2014. Do you know what book Carly Simon authored?
Who? Oh, Carly Simon?
Carly Simon.
I'm So Vain?
No, that's not the name of the book. It's called Elephant Memory.
How was I supposed to know
Elephant's
that?
Memory. Trivia beyond your belief.
Well, see, I thought, You're So Vain would be logical. Oh, well.
Then he flew his private plane up to Nova Scotia to watch a total eclipse of the sun. We have a follow-up. Remember we said that that a computer passed the Turing test? And we
Yes.
questioned the panel? Well, we have an interview from Mr. Llewellyn, actor Robert Llewellyn, who is one of the judges for the test. And he talked to Gizmodo, and he gave his interview back to them about what it was like.
Threw it back in their face.
Now,
Take this.
He says, I have a lot of contact with Professor Kevin Warwick from Reading University, who organized the test. I interviewed him at length when I was writing a tech comedy novel called Brother Nature, which featured a woman working in advanced robotics who uses her renegade brother as a guinea pig with disastrous results. It sounds like a great story. He was very kind and patient with me, and I was fascinated by the work he has been doing. He was the first human being to have a chip inserted into his arm. Ooh, we remember that, right?
Mm-hmm.
We covered that story. Yeah. Wow, that's two
yeah.
references we get. Cool.
Wow. We're actually relevant.
It was directly connected to his central nervous system. Barking mad, dangerous, but fascinating. I like the barking mad comment. You know this is a British article.
Mad. He's barking mad.
He survived, and his involvement in the recent Turing test is the reason I was invited. It may also have had something to do with the fact that I have portrayed a mechanoid in Red Dwarf for the past 25 years. So Gizmodo asked, were you one of the people who thought the chatbot was a computer, or did you think it was a human? And he says, the question has confused me greatly. It implies that the text on the two screens I was dealing with were both being generated by humans. Not quite what I thought I was experiencing. If, alternatively, you mean I was thrown by the responses and chose the computer responses as the human ones 6 times out of 10, then yes, I am that fool. Or maybe not quite so foolish. It was very difficult to tell. Now, here's what I want to do, Craig. I want to create a test where a bunch of computers have to guess if you're a human or a computer. So we as humans have to impersonate computers. The reverse or anti-Turing test, if you will.
Yeah. You're turning the test on the computers.
That's right.
Yeah.
If these Skynet computers are so powerful and smart, let's see them figure out if I am a human or kind of like on the Lego movie when they
There's a joke in here about people. Like I said, I tried to make it last time about people impersonating 13-year-old boys on the internet already.
Didn't they do something like that on Futurama where they impersonated robots on the robot world?
Yeah.
Fry and Leela.
Oh, yeah. They were dressed as robots trying to sneak in.
They did that on the Lego movie, too.
Yeah, they did. That's right. Mm-hmm.
No, wait. That is my jam.
Yeah.
Speaking of Futurama, we have our little clip to play as we go into the news.
Good news, anyone?
We have the world's biggest telescope is finally complete. No, really this time.
Yeah, no, really this time.
That always lends credibility to our articles.
Yeah.
Though the massive 66-antenna ALMA array in Chile's Atacama Desert has been online since last October, when the last of its 54... Wait a minute. 66 antenna, but it's got 54 12-meter radios were installed. What are the other 12 things doing?
Maybe they already had 8 of them installed. Or whatever.
The other 6 dishes are for getting DirecTV or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they're for personal use only.
The system has only been operating at a fraction of its potential resolution, but with the dedicated delivery of 12 additional 7-meter... there's 54 12 meters and 12 7-meter radio dishes. We should really finish reading.
I tried to tell you that.
Poking holes in it.
Yeah.
You tried telling me to finish reading?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Or learn to read.
Yeah.
The last of which was reached at the top of the plateau just last Friday. The ALMA is finally set to stare into the deepest depths of the observable universe. Hey, speaking of the observable universe, there was a very interesting show on public television the other night called Hawking. Went back to his whole history and when he was a boy and growing up and going to school, and very fascinating. 1-hour show. If you find it, go and record it. It's called Hawking. Very easy to remember that name.
Yeah. What is it again? No, I'll remember it.
What's it about?
Yeah. Well, it's funny to see pictures of him when he was like, in college and stuff. He's like standing up and just looked like a regular dude. Well,
Yeah, and then he's got
I'd say
a kid,
regular
and then
dude,
he's
but
in
they
a
were all
wheelchair.
they were all dressed up in suits and stuff. But
He's 73 now, I believe.
that's amazing.
I think he's outlasted his prognosis by quite a few years. Because when he was in his 20s, he was only given like 3 years to live.
Yeah. Oh, I don't remember if remember we talked about the John Oliver doing the lambasting the FCC and all that.
No, I don't remember that.
What? You remember? You didn't see the video where they're talking about net neutrality?
No,
Oh my
it's not ringing a
gosh.
bell.
Okay, you're gonna have to go back and look at that. Anyway, John Oliver had Stephen Hawking on his show recently.
Oh,
and,
yes. Okay, yeah, that video, yes.
Yeah, and Stephen Hawking, yes, he said, "Isn't there an alternate universe where I'm actually smarter than you?" He says, he said something to the effect that,
No.
no.
Is there a universe where I'm funny? No.
Yeah. No, that's what he says is no, and there's probably not an alternate universe where you're
Yes,
funny either.
if he was married or could get a date with some famous actress.
Claudia Schiffer.
No. And he's not even done asking the question, and Hawking goes, no.
Yeah, I think it's pretty
All
cool
right.
that Stephen Hawking has a sense enough of humor to be involved in this stuff, like even The Simpsons,
That's what's great about the guy. He has a wonderful sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
And he's always poking fun at his caretakers and whatnot, and they roll with it. They think he's hysterical. He's always been a very funny person, going back to like his school days. So it's great to see that coming through. You're right.
He's on The Big Bang Theory a couple times.
All right, switching gears, but staying in space. We will soon have a coffee machine that works in space.
Now, see, this
Well-
solves a lot of problems.
No, it doesn't.
Hey, wait a minute. I want to tell you, I'm going to be first off here. I predicted this.
Starbucks in space. You did predict that.
Yes, that's right. I saw this. I went, I was so right. So there was the Google computers that I predicted.
The data collectors years ago, yeah.
And now you're Starbucks. Yes. I'm a regular Nostradamus or Nostradamus.
Let's go over this article that we found. There are some things it's easier to get into space. A glimpse that you can get in space. A glimpse of the Ring Nebula, for instance, and some things that are much harder, like a cup of coffee. This new coffee machine, set to make the trip to the ISS, is going to make it much easier. Coffee maker Lavazza and Agrotech designed the prototype machine, which features steel piping capable of withstanding 400 bar of pressure and weighs just under 45 pounds.
Okay.
The Italian Space Agency has announced plans to take it
Oh,
up
that
with
makes
them.
sense now. The Italian Space Agency. Okay, they're behind this. No,
What?
they're
Where
behind
would
this.
you expect a cappuccino to come from?
I know, that's what I was just thinking. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Espresso? Making coffee in space is interesting as a technical challenge, but it's also interesting as part of another trend, making space more comfortable. Whether it suits that are less bulky, the chance to get some homegrown vegetables high above the Earth's atmosphere, or just a nicely brewed cup of Javalia. More research is focused on the idea of making space not only survivable, but livable. And these seem like important steps towards not just longer journeys in space, but also opening it up space travel to a much larger portion of the population. I call shenanigans. Who would not go into space because there's not coffee? Come on, that's not a criteria.
No, you're right.
Opening up space travel to a much larger portion of the population. Come on. That's...
Well, for lower Earth orbit type stuff, I think it's fine because we send supplies up there all the time. But when we start reaching out further into the universe, this could be a real problem. Let me tell you why. Because they're going to have coffee, and they're going to end up running out of it. Then you have a lot of irritated astronauts on this long journey to Alpha Centauri.
Cranky.
Then we got problems. Hey, what happened in the mission? They all killed themselves. Why? Well, they ran out of coffee and they went nuts. They didn't have cigarettes either.
Coffee's nice, but it's still not Earl Grey hot.
No.
Want to
Yeah, they need a
impress me?
replicator.
Give me the Earl Grey, and we'll talk.
Yeah. The crew imploded and killed them all themselves.
It's just, it's a statement of how far we're willing to go for coffee, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, go ahead and drink your beer, Chuck.
Yeah, because that's not a vice either. When will we get beer in space? The first microbrew will be aboard the ISS. There's my prediction.
The first beer maker, they can send a keg up that can stand what was it, 55 bars a where was it? What?
One of those Mr. Brew. What do they call those little? What do they call those little portable beer making kits?
Yeah.
Let's get a beer.
Put a beer pig in the fridge to brew your own beer.
Send up some more hops. We're making IPA for the long journey.
Here's an experiment for the IS.
How to make beer in space?
Oh, sorry. ISS. IIS is an experiment in its own self.
All right, listener birthday calendar. If you're listening to the birthday calendar, we have several on the 25th and 26th June 25th. June, not March. June 25th, because that's when the show comes out. Is Mark Shepard, longtime listener. Happy birthday, Mark. He's now like 150 years old, I think.
Yeah, it says he's 1,957 years old. Oh, that was when he was born. I'm sorry.
And we're not going to do the math today. That means he's 8 years older than me. Happy birthday. Jim Guckin from Philadelphia is also on the 25th, but we don't have his birthday or his age, so we can't hack his account like we can with Mark. Patrick Norton. Is Patrick Norton still producing content somewhere in the universe?
Yes.
Okay, he's on the 26th. We interviewed him a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Go back in the archives.
We bring up every one of his birthdays each year.
The unknown daughter of Will the computer guy is also on the 26th. So, Will, hopefully you still listen to this when they come out right away so you don't miss your daughter's birthday. That would be bad.
That's right.
And I'm sure she's probably graduated college by now like the rest of our kids have that started off in Podcastville.
She now has her own daughters.
Martin McKay, whom we've also met, says, this is the big 40, which I think was about 8 years ago. See,
let's be real here. Let's be real here.
I think JT's birthday still says he'll be 40 soon, too.
Yeah, he was lamenting that pretty hard.
Maybe it's like the women who deny ever turning 30. They just stay 29 in our wiki forever.
Yeah.
Alexis Duran, AD Dude, is also on June 30th. Happy birthday to all of you. We hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful week, and a wonderful year. And if it's your birthday and you're not on the wiki, we hope that you have a wonderful birthday too. And we hope that you get over to the wiki at chuckchat.com/wiki. Put your birthday on there. And apparently you can put your relatives and unknown named other people, and we'll wish them happy birthday too.
Yeah, and it'll serve as a reminder for yourself.
Because that's what we are. We're like Siri in podcast form.
Yeah.
Like that'll ever happen.
Hacks and strange stories!
Now, if you've been listening to this show for a while, which I'm sure most of you have, or both of you have.
Yeah,
okay.
Both.
Oh, wait, we're supposed to talk to it like it's one listener, right? Because that's all we have.
Yeah, that's the rule.
You know that we like Legos and we like Futurama. So what's better than putting them together into a 6-foot-tall Bender robot that has an open chest cavity, and when you open the door, what's he got in it?
Liquor. Old Fortran.
Old Fortran. Lowbrow.
Lowbrow.
Well, apparently he doesn't have that, but he does have 3 bottles of something or other distilled spirits.
Hey, I showed Harrison this, and the first thing he said, "It's refrigerated in there." I was like, "No."
That's what I was wondering too. But most of these distilled things don't need refrigeration.
Well, you could run some coolant pipes up his legs, and make a coolant. You could cool it actually.
At the 2014 Brick World Chicago Expo, Master of Lego Adrian Drake, aka Brick Frenzy, unveiled one of the best Lego? Wow, I am all over the place here. The best Lego creations we've seen in a while. Drake's 6-foot-tall version of Bending Rodriguez was crafted from approximately 20,000 Lego pieces and took him about a month to build, but we don't have any exact hours. He could have built this thing in 30 minutes, very slowly over a month, but we don't know. The piece has some pretty awesome touches, like a fully functional chest cavity hiding a few bottles of Bender's fuel of choice, booze. The incredible creation impressed judges and convention goers alike, with hundreds of people lined up to bite his shiny metal ass. Inspired by Drake's work, the folks at the Brothers Brick took it upon themselves to build a Lego Nixon head, which Drake will take with him to another Lego convention in Virginia later this year.
Did you see it, by the way? Yeah. Did you see it?
No, I did not. Where's the picture of the Nixon head?
It's on their Flickr account. Look at the webcam, and you can see it on there.
He's got a brain slug on him.
Yeah. So I'll flip through a couple. There you go.
Oh, hey! I thought he'd be in a jar.
No, you can swap the heads out. Oh, there's a good picture of the cigar. Look at that. It's pretty good.
With Lego smoke.
Yeah. What's that? You sounded like Tom. What's his name from Will It Blend? With I smoke. Don't breathe this. All right. Anyway, that's pretty cool. Very impressive.
Unfortunately, we have missed the date to ride in Optimus Prime. Well, at least in Phoenix, anyway. But maybe you can get your chance to ride in Optimus Prime on Uber. There was a very interesting article on public radio about Uber versus traditional taxis, but I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm guessing Optimus Prime has just fired his lousy accountant because even though he has a new movie about to come out, regular unwashed people like you and me can ride in Optimus Prime
Unwashed. Unclean.
by simply hailing him through Uber. Well, so long as you're in one of the 3 cities listed below, which we will get to in a second. Still, even a 15 minutes nestled inside of Optimus Prime has got to be pretty fun, right? Uber is doing this as a tie-in for the Transformers 4 movie, titled Transformers 4, My Dinner with Optimus Prime. What is it? A Journey to Extinction or Age of Extinction? Something like that.
The new one?
Yeah.
I can't remember, but yeah, something like that.
It's like a couple weeks from now.
Mm-hmm.
Uber has not commented on whether or not riders will be permitted to transform Optimus into his full robot form and then smash things around and find the house. It looks as though other Transformers, such as Bumblebee, will also be available at a future date. Very cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
Okay, the cities are Dallas, missed it on the 16th, Phoenix on June 19th, missed that too, and Los Angeles on the 21st. Oops, darn. Hopefully he'll be getting around. If anyone is planning on quitting their job in any of these cities on those days, I can't think of a better way than to give yourself a take this job and shove it speech. Walk out of the building, climb into Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
You should. Hey,
Jeez,
that's almost as cool as the Wienermobile, which was in Appleton, but I didn't know it until after it left.
Oh yeah, it is the Wienermobile is a really cool car. You know, in the comments.
That was one of your first interviews, wasn't it?
Yes, I actually took my Dell. What was that? V5. Trying to think of the handheld. It was like PDA. And went and did an interview with it. Yes, I did, and they were pretty cool. Let me kind of stick my head in it, but I couldn't take pictures for some reason inside. I don't know, but yeah, it was really cool. It looks so well built.
Somewhere.
It should be on our website.
All right, we're gonna have to look.
Yeah.
Search for Wienermobile.
Yeah, it was Speed Week in Charlotte, and they closed down part of the Tryon right downtown, and they have cars and concerts and stuff, and because the race is in Charlotte, right down the road. So, hey, one of one of the first comments on this article I like. It says, "Call me old-fashioned, but this movie truck I'd rather much ride in, and it's like Snowman's truck from Smokey and the Bandit." It's got, with the trailer with the mural on the side.
All right, this next one you have to put on the camera.
Okay.
Because it's just, I don't know, it's just it's special. Let's just leave it at that.
It's special?
We have a phone jamming cloak that lets you be seen and not tracked. Well, seen is definitely the term I would be using here. Normally, I would say just weave some mesh into the cloak and you don't get tracked on your phones and things. But they go one step further. If you see on the webcam, this looks like he's thrown on some comforter that has gone wrong at the seamstress factory.
It's like a Snuggie gone wrong.
It is. It's all lumpy and quilted and it's irregular, but for a good reason.
Mm-hmm.
So in the past, we've talked about invisibility cloaks. It is a Faraday cage, but it's much more than that. And I'll tell you what these do, the crazy lines and irregularities. We've talked about invisibility cloaks, thermal cloaks, and even acoustic cloaks, but none of these were actual, cloaks. They weren't. The voluminous CHBL jammer coat, which sounds cooler than it looks.
Jammer.
It really is an actual cloak.
Yeah.
Created by Austrian designers, apparently with the help of Zoolander and some Bedouin tribesmen. It uses metallic fabric to stop radio waves going to or from any mobile devices carried in its many pockets, which you would expect. Faraday cage, right? But wait, it further flummoxes onlookers and CCTV cameras by giving the illusion of, quote, extra limbs. What's that black and white octopus walking down the street? So that your real body parts remain hidden behind a mass of folds, wave circle patterns, and pleased to see me jokes. Alas, you can't actually buy the CHBL jammer coat because it's a statement-making one-off. So genuine, escape artists will need to shop for their portable Faraday cages elsewhere.
The only place you could wear this is at Dragon Con. You just kind of blend in.
Wow. What are you supposed to be?
You look like a character from Dune.
It's not even that good, man.
Who are you? Are you Sting or from Dune?
It's Cthulhu.
My other thought is, when people started podcasting, some of the advice for getting really good microphone audio is covering yourself with a blanket. So now when you go do on-site interviews, you can just invite somebody into your... Hey, can you step in here for a minute?
Step into my portable studio. It dampens the sound.
Hey, Harry Potter would love this.
Let's take a quick break, and we will be back with more insanity. What we call Technorama. Helps if I turn the fader back the right way. You might have to patch in some audio.
And you don't even have to wear a blanket to listen.
Help! Here comes the shout out to the chat.
You know what's funny is how many typos we end up seeing in the show notes because I cut and pasted the title off of a webpage.
I didn't have any typos on this day for once. Wow, that was rather surprising. Okay. Alrighty, where are we? We're at the break.
Remember when?
No, yeah, we gotta do the chat room thing. We'll do come back. We want to remind you that every Sunday night we should really change that. It's not every Sunday night anymore. It's the Sunday nights where both Craig and I are home. More
like when we can fit it in.
We're still dedicated to bringing you Technorama whether it kills us or not. So, on some Sunday nights, if you watch the Twitter feeds for Technorama Podcast, or you watch our Facebook page, or sometimes we let you know, or you just jump in the chat room and see if anybody's there, and if we respond, we're there. around 9:30 Eastern Time at random Sunday nights, apparently, you can hear the show raw and unedited before Craig gets his grubby little hands all over it. And to do that, just circle Technorama Podcast or Craig or me on Google+, follow Technorama. Yeah, just go to the website. All the links and crazy things are there.
Anyway,
We would love to see you.
You
This
know,
week...
And by the way, I saw another quote from John Oliver, which is kind of,
Yes.
fits into what you just said. He said, it's much like sausage. You can learn. What did he say? You can learn something from sausage. If you love something, don't learn how it's made.
So don't learn how Technorama is made? You're telling people not to join us live?
No.
You can be part of the conversation. Like Captain Root Beer and me and you. Well, we always have a conversation anyway. We have over here on the left. No.
Oh, Gru's actually talking.
Gru is talking. He yelled. I said at the break, I said, here comes the shout out to the chat room. Everybody yell. And we got,
Oh, yeah.
we need like a slash yell in IRC.
/L.
We have Mad Marv and Ranger Craig. Ranger Craig is joining us again. And the Giant and Tim Elliott. I think Ranger Craig can join us more often with his recent position change.
What was that /action where it would always say something like slap so-and-so with a wet fish? Maybe it was on a particular IRC server back in the day.
Oh, I asked Siri something the other day. I said, what is the Japanese word for see you later? And Siri responded, I'm sorry, Charles, until C-3PO teaches me how to translate.
Wow, she's getting snippy.
And referencing C-3PO, I thought that was pretty funny.
Hey, me and Harrison were. I was using Google Maps the other day to go to somebody's house I hadn't been to before, and it said turn right. I was like, she's getting demanding.
Yikes!
Yeah, even Harrison went, "Whoa, turn right now."
All right, where's my icon? There it is. Unlike some podcasts, we do not have a producer in the back room that knows when to run the clips. We do it all ourselves.
Correct.
And what we screw up, Craig fixes in post.
Not correct.
But before the days when Chuck and Craig were on Google Hangouts, we had, this almost sounds like a Stephen Hawking book, a prehistory of online video.
The prehistory of internet.
A brief history of internet time.
Yeah.
So, before the likes of Leroy Jenkins, that kid David who went to the dentist, and Keyboard Cat blew up on YouTube, there wasn't exactly a centralized place to check out the latest videos your friends were talking about. Instead, those types of clips went viral via email and places like eBombs World. Oh man. I almost forgot about eBombs World till we read this.
Yeah.
In the case of Strong Bad Emails on a sort of network all of their own. Was Strong Bad out? Wow, Strong Bad was out that long, wasn't he?
Yeah, actually, it was still going strong when we started the podcast because we mentioned it several times.
I think he's still coming out with new content, but
Well, yeah. Remember, I talked to the brothers at HeroesCon one year.
oh yeah, we have that audio clip. So anyway, author John Green gives a quick rundown of what online video was like prior to YouTube. We highly suggest watching it.
Yeah.
It's worth your time. We promise.
Hey, that was a frustrating time, but at the same time, it was kind of satisfying when you found stuff because it was.
Oh yeah.
It was a little not few and far between, but it was more like, groundbreaking stuff like Strong Bad or.
What was that Smoking Nun? There was like a 3D CGI rendered comic. Do you remember that one?
No, I don't remember that one.
Oh, there were two of them. There was a Smoking Nun and there was somebody else, and that's where I learned about Richard Stans.
Okay.
And they'd have like this writing, kind of like Strong Bad. It says, so and so writes us, who is Richard Stans, mentioned in the national anthem And to the Republic for Richard Stands. Most people don't realize Richard Stands is related to Don Zerly by Don Zerly Light.
Oh, nice.
It was priceless. And this was, 1999, 2000. That you'd find these things, and there was a whole series of them. I can't remember. If any of our listeners know, please write me in. I just can't remember what they are, but they were
I'm
great.
surprised that there weren't more video services that popped up like YouTube. I mean, I know there's several. Vimeo being one, some others, but I'm surprised there weren't more because we were hungry for it, but at the same time, it's kind of there with some Flash videos and Strong Babylon. That kind of stuff. Anyway, just
another one that my kids remember is the girls remember WeComeInPeace.free.fr, free.fr, WeComeInPeace.free.fr, and there's a whole series of little they look like sketches. You know how kind of Beavis and Butthead shake when the animation is running?
Yeah.
That's how this is done too. It's just black and white stuff with these kind of alien monsters. They don't speak, but they're very creative. I thought so. That's one of my favorites. This is fun stuff, and he makes a lot of references to things that I don't remember seeing, except, of course, the first viral video of that grotesque dancing jiggly baby thing. Ugh.
Okay, that was kind of creepy.
And All Your Base Are Belong to Us. I'm sure many of our listeners know about that.
Yeah, I think online video for me was the first time I saw video, I thought it was really cool, and I thought it seemed perfect that in the future we'd have a lot, streaming video at some point. But it seemed like it took a long time to get there. Didn't it? Because there were some around
streaming
with
video, yes. Recorded video, it wasn't as big of a deal.
See, I always thought that Reel really pushed that envelope for a while, and then they just kind of got pushed aside.
Yep.
But anyway, I still remember the first time I heard real audio out of a computer. It was the Kung Fu Fighting song on my Commodore.
That's actually how I started listening to podcasts. Was through a channel on Real Audio. Was it? Yeah, I think it was.
Oh.
Anyway,
yeah,
we won't get into that into this episode of Remember When. But what we do want to talk about is some of the brochures from the Computer History Museum. And there's a link if you follow through the show notes to some of these. And these are wonderful old brochures, very well preserved, like the easy-to-use Bendix G15 general-purpose digital computer, thing the size of a refrigerator.
Yeah.
Looks like Bender's girlfriend.
With his typewriter.
Yeah. And 4 guys in ties standing around looking at the operator, like, you missed a semicolon.
That's a modern IT crowd.
The EAI 640 digital computing system, which has all of its components apparently outdoors by the water fountain, including several reels and printers and key punches.
It saves you so much time you can lounge beside the water fountain out in the courtyard.
Like this lovely young lady does. Or the other lovely young lady that's putting probably a 1 megabyte disk pack.
By the way, the guy sitting at the keyboard, he's not looking at the keyboard.
Eyes on keyboard. Eyes on keyboard.
Yeah. Eyes on paper.
It's an ad for eyes on paper. Eyes on punch cards. It's an ad for the PDP-11 resource time sharing system, or the RSTS-11, which sounds more Soviet than anything. The software, Basic Plus, in 1970, the PDP-11, which I was joking with Craig. There's an acronym at work, PDPO, which are the stages of one of our processes. Mm-hmm. And Craig said, I got 100% on the test. And I said, oh, I guess PDPO isn't an old computer then, is it?
Not anymore.
This has got like a library bookmark stamp on it. Boom. November 18th, 1974. The Contel, which looks more like a artist concept drawing of some sort. And
they felt compelled to give the photo credit with a date. It's not. It's like it's on the thing. Sorry, it seems a little funny.
This must be how it got turned in. Anyway, if you want to see these and many more, click through the show notes links, and the Computer History Museum has many. Oh, these are awesome. We got to go back there, Craig. We have to make it a mission to get back there.
Yeah, let's schedule some work in that area.
Hey, we have an office out there. All we got to do is coordinate schedules, and we can do that.
That would be cool.
That's actually more of a reality than I realized, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, yeah, maybe I'll edit this out of the show so it doesn't seem so obvious. What a coincidence!
It would be a great coincidence because Craig and I now work for the same company, and we have an office in Santa Clara, which is near Mountain View.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to think I have to teach a course, and Craig might have to enroll in that said course.
Yeah, right.
That might work. Anyway, well, we're conspiring on the company's dime.
See, I'm editing all this out.
Is this our last article in the Geek Library? It is. And then Craig's going to ramble on about something. Oh, look at the time. We're at 46 minutes already.
Yeah, let's make it quick. I had to put this in here, and it's obvious why.
It's just cool looking.
Well, there's 3 reasons, obviously, why. One,
it's
cool looking.
And I wore my Star Trek shirt.
Yeah. So it's cool looking, it's named Enterprise, and it involves warp. Trifecta right there.
Dr. Harold Sonny White is still working on the warp drive at NASA's Johnson Space Center. His work is still in the experimental stage, but that doesn't mean he can't imagine what the real-life Enterprise ship would look like according to his math, or if you're in the UK, his maths. You're looking at it right now. Well, you need to put some things on the still store, Craig. Get your mugshot off.
Yeah. Let me put that up.
All right. And it looks pretty freaking awesome. It's a combination. It looks like it's a cross between 2001: A Space Odyssey, because you got the circular ring things.
You know what? That is exactly what I was thinking of when I saw it.
It almost looks Cardassian in the front location part. You know, kind of that hammerhead shark look.
Mm-hmm. Let me go pull up another one. I like this picture better. That's a cool picture.
So they did some concept 3D stuff. That's pretty cool.
Oh, sorry, let me put my picture.
There is another one a little further down below with the double rings that are much thinner. Dr. White, whose daily life is working in future propulsion solutions for interplanetary travel in the near future, like ion and plasma thrusters, developed new theoretical work that solved the problems of, I don't know if I can pronounce this, Alcubierre drive concept. Hope I didn't massacre that too much, and it's not French. A theory that allowed faster-than-light travel based on Einstein's field equations in general relativity, developed by theoretical physicist Miguel Alcubierre. Dang, someone fix me on that, please. A spaceship equipped with warp drive would allow faster-than-light travel by bending the space around it, making distances shorter. At the local level, however, the spaceship wouldn't be moving faster than light. Therefore, warp travel doesn't violate the first Einstein commandment, "Thou shalt not travel faster than light."
You shall not pass. Sorry.
You shall not collect $200.
Yeah.
Here's more views of the IXS Enterprise during its construction phase at Utopia Planitia. The concept that Dr. White developed with Rademacher.
Yeah,
wow, there are some really
I watched the
cool
video.
drawings.
The guy, okay, let me back up. There's a picture right there with the elongated fuselage. Looks like almost like a needle sticking out. That was an early concept, and they changed it up where it looks more like the ones at the top, like that, like a real spaceship. And these rings will generate the power for the warp. There's not really warp nacelles, but for the warp engines. And yeah, it's supposed to bend space, and then the ship moves at, I guess, a high rate of speed within that bubble, and then it actually unfolds space, and there you are.
What does IXS stand for? They didn't explain that in this article.
I seem to remember it being called NX-1, but that was on the Enterprise.
No. I like this comment in here. It says, where is it? I missed it. Here. Find apparently Chuck can't type tonight either. Oh, this is the starship that may take us where no humans has gone before. And it has me screaming like a little Klingon girl.
Yeah, no kidding.
I love that comment. These are beautiful shots. If you haven't seen them on the camera, on the YouTube stuff, then either watch the video or click through the show note links that we'll have on the website when we post this on Wednesday, June 25th.
Hey, you can't tell me you didn't have a similar kind of experience to go, ooh, that would be cool. Did you not?
It's a lot cooler than the Space 1999 spaceships.
Yeah. Yes, it is. But I really got excited for it. I was like, man, this has got to be made. I would love to see, us reaching, even if I'm not on it.
All right, you have 3 minutes to talk about Heroes Con. Go!
Well, there were costumes. Actually, I mentioned this last time that there was a lot more cosplay previous years, and this year even more so. I think they even had a contest. I don't remember contests before. But I saw, of course, a lot of artists. There were several vehicles there. I saw the Mystery Machine, the Scooby-Doo one, and they were taking money for they were taking money for a Great Dane rescue, which was kind of cool. Then they had the 501st there, which they had several. It almost looked like play sets from Hasbro, where you could get into the trash compactor, and they had foam pieces cut out, and kids were getting in it. And they had I've actually got a picture of it. I just thought about that. I don't think it shared it. There's a picture of C-3PO peeking behind the orange door from A New Hope, and some Ewoks beating up on some Stormtrooper armor. Anyway, I talked to Tom, and his last name's escaping me at the moment, with the 501st, and he gave me a little backstory about the 501 and what they do here in the Carolinas, and also with Doc Greasy, who is with Ghostbusters and the Carolina Ghostbusters, and what they do. And at first I thought they had the car from the Blues Brothers, and then I went, oh wait, these are Men in Black guys, because he had the car with the big red button in it. And
wait. How did you go from Ghostbusters to Men in Black? I didn't follow that.
Okay, so they have an Ecto One there, and they're and they do parties and stuff like that, and they raise money for a charity in North Carolina. Well, Doc is into making movie cars, so this was kind of a natural progression. He found one in the area, and I'll say the story for the podcast. But anyway, they ended up making it, and they're still kind of working.
The one from Men in Black 1.
Yes, the POSF Ford LTD.
Okay, because the last couple of years we marched with one from Men in Black 3.
Yes, correct. I did tell them about that, and they've been in the parade in Dragon Con with the Ecto One.
Oh, they have. Okay.
Yes, and anyway, so he was wanting information. That's why I passed it along to you about getting in the parade for Men in Black, and I said, "Oh yeah, I can hook you up." So they'll be down there. Anyway, let me back up. So the Heroes Con, lots of cosplay. Everybody was cool about taking pictures. It's more of the same. It seemed like it was kind of big and maybe a little expanded this year. So yeah, it's really good. So hopefully some people can make it to the one next year. Happens around June-ish. I could probably tell you the date on the poster. I can't remember, see where it's at, but oh wait, I tell you, June 19th next year.
Alrighty. Well, thank you. We don't have time in this show, but we need to give our listeners an update of our Dragon Con process and where we are and what we're doing, because it's somewhat humorous. We may just block off like 20 minutes for that whole story.
Oh, yeah.
What we're doing. There is a big story in what we're doing and how we got there.
As you're working on this project, are you doing any video?
No, I wish I had, because that first day when we set out was hysterical.
Yeah, you should be documenting some of this.
I know. We've got a few pictures. We don't have videos, but we do have pictures.
Okay.
So on that note, we must sign off.
Hey, wait. We'll have to get Scott on here, and we'll have to do a roundtable about the project.
We could do a wrap-up at Dragon Con.
Yeah, that's right. He'll be there. So yeah, absolutely.
No.
Oh, by the way, I did have dinner with Dave Slusher and his family Saturday night, and so I ran into him for a little while too. I meant to mention that.
Also another Co-worker.
Yeah.
Podcast.
Worker, podcaster. Yeah, that's right.
We're crossing genres all over the place.
We're crossing the streams.
My worlds are colliding left and right. Well, we want to appreciate you for joining us on this lonely Sunday night, or in your earbuds when you listen to this at a much later date. But please, if you have questions or you can remember what that internet video was that I asked earlier, call the listener line, 206-222-CHAT. It was Sister something or other, and I can't remember. That's 206-222-2428. You know the number. You've been calling it a long time, or at least you've been hearing us say it for a long time. You should have it burned in a ROM somewhere.
Yeah.
Technorama@chuckchet.com is the email if you just want to record it and send it along later. Or go to the website and find all our Twitter handles and Facebook pages and Google Plus-y things like I showed you later. Told you about earlier. Not sure what happened there.
Yeah.
Thanks to Mad Marv for the great blog content. Everyone who joined us on Sunday night and in the chat room. Thank you for listening. Craig, give me a binary high five.
101.
And we're out. All right. Tell everybody good night, Chuck.
Good night, Chuck.
Yeah, good night, Chuck.